We saw the cast of Ahsoka in their iconic costumes, with lightsabers and in incredible vehicles. But what do they look like in real life? And what's behind those incredible transformations? Let's journey together into the mystical world of Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. This actress has been a part of the Star Wars family for 3 years. She brought Ahsoka to life in the Mandalorian series and in the Book of Boba Fett. And Rosario is thrilled that the new Star Wars show is all about her character.
As a fan, I want more, so it's just exciting to be a part of that.
Taking the character from animation to live action was quite a challenge. Firstly, because of Ahsoka's fighting style. Even the show's stunt coordinator said it's not physically possible for a human to do all these things.
You've never seen her kind of confined to the abilities of a human being.
So Rosario had to stick to a crazy training schedule to film as many stunts as possible. I trained 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, and when we were filming, we would be shooting between 7 to 12 hours of fighting, and then I'd learn the next fight. It really was all-encompassing. It was hard not only to fight like Ahsoka, but also to make a real person look like her. An innovative head prosthetic was created especially for the actress, so Rosario felt like it was a part of her body. It took 3 hours to turn the actress into the Togruta warrior.
There's no dialing it in Star Wars. There's no like, okay, I did this, it's old hat. It's like, each piece, every single part of it can change. The weather, whether we're in their volume, we have to do different things because my skin tone changes. I have a whole forehead piece that I wear, and sometimes if the prosthetic itself is different, so it's just, it feels very present. It renders us very present every day.
This commitment improved not just Ahsoka's character, but also Rosario herself.
She's left quite the impression on me. It's definitely been, I think, a lifestyle change. I meditate every day.
This year's show brought one more actress into the Star Wars franchise. Natasha Liu Bordizzo as Sabine Wren. We remember Sabine from Star Wars Rebels animations and the web series Forces of Destiny. Tia Sircar provided the character's voice back then, but when it came to the live-action series, the show creators decided to cast another actress, a 29-year-old Aussie. Fun fact, during the audition process, Natasha didn't know what show she was trying out for.
I read scenes from a completely different film that had nothing to do with Star Wars. I wasn't told it was for this.
There was a good reason why Natasha was chosen for the role. She is a warrior in real life. The actress trained in Taekwondo for 5 years until her mid-teens, and she earned a black belt. Still, that doesn't mean Natasha didn't have to prepare for the part. It took months of intense training for her to perform all the stunts.
Because you just don't want it to not be anything but awesome. So reaching that level physically takes its time. If we get season 2, I'm training from now.
As we all know, a Star Wars show is never just about filming in venues. Natasha was excited to be part of the innovative process.
When I saw the volume for the first time, the set we work on, when you're there in person and you see how quickly it can change from set to set and how they control it and how part of it's in focus and part of it's not, it's just so crazy to be one of the first cast to be able to work on a technology like that.
Now let's move on to Sabine's partner in crime, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera Syndulla. This actress, who brought the iconic Twi'lek pilot to life, is also new to the Star Wars franchise. The voice of Hera was previously recorded by Vanessa Marshall. However, 38-year-old Mary Elizabeth is famous in her own right. She starred in more than 50 movies and TV shows, and played lead roles like in the period drama Mercy Street. It was a blessing for Mary to portray a character with such a rich background.
It's incredible because sometimes, we're tasked with creating our own backstories or trying to flesh out a character that doesn't really have that much on the page.
Another unique feature of this role, Mary has never undergone such a drastic physical transformation.
The first day that we did it, I was pretty blown away, particularly once we put the contacts in. That's when I felt like I wasn't myself anymore. I was someone completely different. I was something completely different.
Talking about transformations, Mary said that the process was surprisingly quick. Yeah, sort of just for the sake of a story, I'd love for it to be really complicated and say it was an 8-hour process, but thankfully it wasn't. They got it down to about an hour, which is a pretty normal time to be sitting in the makeup chair for any project. Not only did Mary have quite an easy prep process, but she also had a lot of guidance and support after she landed the role. See, Winstead is married to Ewan McGregor. Yes, the actor behind the iconic Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He was just so happy and excited for me. He really was. It's like, he's just like, there's just nothing else like being embraced by this community, you know, and being a part of it. It's just such a special thing.
We're now moving on to one more actress who received instructions for her role from her family. Diana Lee Inosanto as Morgan Elsbeth. This actress isn't a newcomer to the franchise. Diana portrayed the Imperial Magistrate of Caladan in The Mandalorian. Before the show, the actress had quite an impressive filmography, including a role in The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. But Star Wars is a very special project for her, all because of the action scenes. Diana's father, Dan, was a famous martial arts instructor, and her godfather was none other than a global icon, the late Bruce Lee. This woman has been a pro at fighting since her early years.
I was very lucky to be quite acquainted with many different martial arts styles and systems because they had raised me with this philosophy about emptying your cup and being open-minded. And so that would serve me later on as an adult and when I would come to work on both Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
She has worked as a stunt woman on different projects and did all Morgan's stunts and prep work herself. Diana Lee joked that she's sort of been training for her Star Wars role all her life. She has been a fan of the saga since she was a little girl.
My father, when I was a little girl, then immediately was so inspired, he went and bought these plastic telescope-looking lightsabers. But to me, the lightsabers were the real deal in my heart as a child. And he started training me right away with 2 lightsabers, and it's so crazy.
The most interesting thing about her being on Ahsoka? The showmakers went to great lengths to find Diana.
Crazy. I'm like, how would they have found me? You know, because I've kind of slowed down in the acting department, and I didn't have an agent at the time.
Now let's meet the actress who brought the villain of the show to life. Ivanna Sakhno as Shin Hati. The actress behind the main villain of this show is new to the Star Wars universe, as well as to Hollywood itself. The 25-year-old Ukrainian previously had mostly appeared in local movies or short films. Let's be fair, the role in the Star Wars franchise is an incredible career boost for her. Surprisingly, the actress wasn't familiar with the Star Wars universe before she was cast for the role. But Ivanna shared that the story about the galaxy far, far away captured her instantly.
It became my world. The way that it translates itself, you know, the Force translates into the flow of the universe and how that translates into the lessons that come along with it.
Ivanna formed a profound connection with her character right away.
I love her. I really care so much about her, and I feel like it's my job to take care of her and protect her.
Even intense preparation didn't spoil Ivanna's joy on set. She spent months training with stunt coordinator Ming Chu to perfect Shin's brutal lightsaber style. But Ivanna enjoyed filming in Shin's ship's control room the most. The actual ship and a lot of the aspects of the physical world were built for the show. I do remember sitting inside of my cockpit and really feeling like my younger self as a kid, looking around. All the buttons are working, and you feel like it's your childhood dream coming true. The actress said that it wasn't just the props that helped her get into character, but the physical preparations too.
It's a story being told through costume and through the visual, as much as through, you know, the actual storyline in the series.
Last but definitely not least, let's explore the actor behind one more villain on the show, Ray Stevenson as Baylan Skoll. Ray has already worked on the sets of a few previous movies of the franchise. He voiced Gar Saxon in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The fact that this character died didn't stop the show creators from offering Ray a role in the new Star Wars project. He described the experience as spectacular.
Getting to wield the lightsaber is just the best feeling in the world. And the first time that they handed it to me for the camera test, you couldn't help yourself. You make the noise.
The noise. Everybody says it.
I'm sorry. No, everybody does.
Actually, Ray made Baylan's lightsaber completely unique. He helped to design a very special pommel on his weapon, and it made his character even more incredible. The other thing that helped Ray live out his character were Baylan's unique mantles.
It's incorporated, and there's 5 costumes now, and they're all hand-stitched, and
the work and the detail and the enthusiasm gone in, the collaborative nature of all this as well is what's breathtaking.
Sadly, the actor didn't live to see the new Star Wars project on screen. On May 22nd, this year, he passed away. He was about to turn 59 in a few days. Ray was in Italy filming his new project, the movie Casino in Ischia. He was hospitalized right from the film set and suddenly died shortly after. His family didn't want to disclose the details of the tragedy. However, some reports say that Ray had a heart attack. Still, his legacy lives on in the galaxy he helped shape. We cannot wrap up this video without mentioning David Tennant. This man provided the voice of Huyang, one of the most popular characters. David first brought the droid to life in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and actually won a Daytime Emmy for his voice acting on the show. And we wouldn't be surprised if he gets another award for Ahsoka. Fans often say that Tennant really elevated the silver droid with his performance. Dave Filoni himself said that he absolutely loves David's work. When the show creator saw Doctor Who, he knew he had to have Tennant voice Huyang.
There was such a quizzical nature to the character, a sense of whimsy, but it could still get very powerful emotion out of the character, a lot of intensity, a lot of anger, it's just a great display of range.
There is another reason why David was the best choice to voice the droid. He has been a huge fan of Star Wars for many years, and we couldn't be more thankful to Tennant for his impact on the Star Wars universe. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more updates about your favorite TV shows.